Hi guys, it's Jade Melody here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going through a nice full body stretching routine. I've done these before on my channel, but you can never have too many full body stretching routines. So this is just going to be one to hit every muscle in your body, go through a nice long stretch. You can do this before bed, after a workout, in the morning, whenever you want to, whenever it feels right for you. So it's gonna be a follow along one. So just grab yourself a bit of space or a mat in the gym and you can follow along every single step of the way. We're gonna go through each of these stretches, take them at your own pace, and after you should feel nice and flexible and nice and relaxed as well. So grab a little bit of space or grab your mat and let's dive straight into this full body stretch routine. Okay, so let's dive straight in here. We're gonna start off by using a bench. If you're at home, you can use your bed or a chair or sofa or really any other elevated ledge. But if you're in the gym, you can just use a gym bench. It's absolutely fine. So we're gonna go down onto our knees. We're gonna place your elbows on top of the bench. And you're gonna try and send your chest down to the floor. Now make sure to keep your tailbone tucked underneath you, and you can send your hands as far over your head as you wish. We're going to start with our hands together in a fist shape and just trying to kind of get a little bit of movement going into our upper body. So you can kind of sway side to side, you could rock forward and backward if you want to, or you can just kind of hold down here, keeping your tailbone tucked underneath you and also trying to keep your chest somewhat tucked underneath you too. Again, right now we're just kind of moving through this position a little bit, so you can move your arms backwards and forwards if you want. You can hold your head, you can hold your hands, doesn't matter. Now we've got it a bit warmed up, we're going to hold something between your hands. You could use a foam roller, a hip thrust bar pad, a foam block, a water bottle, a dumbbell, literally anything. You're going to hold it between your hands, so palms facing in, and go back down into that position. Now we're really going to focus on spreading the shoulder blades apart and trying to round your whole back. You're trying to curve your whole back, round your upper back, round your lower back, and keep everything as if you're being punched in the chest, which is not a very relaxing thought, but let's just pretend it is. So if you're trying to keep that arch shape, that's going to help you to really stretch your lats. Keeping your hands apart in this position will also help us get into our lats a bit more. And same before, you can keep your hands a little bit further away from your head, or you can send your hands and whatever you're holding all the way over your head. It's really up to you what feels good, but we're just holding here and trying to keep that curved shape. Really think about those shoulder blades spreading apart and you're trying to push your chest up to the sky and keep that really curved arch shape. Make sure when you're coming out of this one, come out of it nice and slowly and don't rush too much. We're going to go into a lat stretch next, so sitting side on to your bed, bench, etc. Arms going to go up, the one furthest away from the bench, and you're going to tip to the side. Now if you can catch your bench or you can catch the bed or the sofa, then that's great. If you can't, that's fine. The bench slash bed chair is just there for you to think about leaning towards it, so you have something to think about heading towards. So you're just going to tip over. Now you're trying to keep your chest rotated out to the front. Try to not let your chest rotate and turn towards the bench. Try and keep that chest opening up. Think about trying to rotate it almost up to the ceiling, up to the sky, and you're really just thinking about tipping over the top. The stretch we're looking for is down the side of your torso into your lats as well here. Now if you can catch onto your bench, that's great. You can use it as a hook and you can kind of lean away from that. If you're not able to catch anything, it's fine. You can just tip over the top and just hold in this tipped position, really trying to get into that deep lat stretch. Again, slowly come out of this one, and then we're going to swap onto the other side, just turning around. Again, it's going to be arm furthest away from your bench. You're going to go up and over your head, and you're going to tip over to the side. Again, we're trying to not turn your chest in towards the chair or bed or bench. You're trying to keep your chest rotated out to the front. You might find one side harder than the other. I definitely find this side that I'm showing now a lot harder than my other side, and that's absolutely okay if you do. Deep breath into this movement the whole time you're in it. Deep breath out and make sure to come out of it slowly because your spine is quite contorted in that position. We're going to switch to a hamstring one here. So you're going to go into a kneeling position. You're going to extend that front leg. Now again, it's useful to have something to hold on to here. You might not be able to reach something in front of you, so you can hold on to something to the side. We're going to start by flexing, arching the base of our spine. So think about tucking our pelvis in, then flexing it out. Tucking it in, flexing it out. Almost thinking about trying to tuck your bum underneath you and then push your bum out behind you. We're doing 10 of those and then just relaxing into it. We're now going to do some PNF. So think about your heel pulling down into the floor, hold it, squeeze your hamstring, and then relax. And then again, pull your heel down, squeeze your hamstring, and then relax. And then we're going to go for one more time. Squeeze your heel down. Try and think about pulling your heel back, squeeze your hamstring, and then relax it. So once you've done this, you should be able to go a bit deeper into that stretch. So deep breath, relax down a little bit further. We are trying to keep our tailbone pushed out behind us. So we're not going to try and tuck our bum underneath. We're going to try and think about pushing that bum out behind you. So really flick your tailbone up, push your bum back, 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 back. And we're trying to keep the front leg pretty straight during this one. You can have a tiny bend if you want it to, but ideally we're looking for a pretty straight knee in this position. Now you can put your hands on the floor or hold on something behind you if you'd like. Let's swap legs. We're going to do the tucks and flick backs first. So get into this kneeling position and then tuck the pelvis and extend the pelvis. Tuck the pelvis and extend the pelvis. We're literally looking to concave and then arch the other way. You're trying to keep your leg straight this whole time. Try not to bend your knee at all as you tuck the pelvis and push the pelvis back. We are then going to relax and we're going to do some PNF. So let's pull the heel down into the floor, squeeze the hamstring and relax it. Again, same thing, deep breath. You're going to pull your heel down into the floor, squeeze your hamstring as hard as you can. Think about pushing the heel down and relax. We should be able to go a little bit lower down now in this position. So relax that chest down to the floor just a little bit more. Think about your chest trying to reach your heel at the front, or your chest trying to reach your quad, should I be saying, really. We're again still trying to keep your bum pushed out. So try and think about having a neutral spine. We don't want our spine to round at the bottom. We want to keep a neutral spine all the way through. Just trying to feel a stretch through your whole hamstring during this movement. I'm going to slowly come out of this movement and go into quite an advanced pigeon stretch. So you're going to put your foot up on top of your elevation and create a 90-degree angle in that front leg, keeping your back knee on the floor. Now, if you're like Jade, there is no way I'm getting into this position. You are crazy. And you can just do a normal pigeon stretch, which is the exact same, but just on the floor. And you just have your foot bent in front of you, knee bent at a 90 degree, and your back leg is just straight behind you. I've showed the pigeon stretch in a few other stretching videos I've done. So this is just a slightly more advanced version of the pigeon stretch. It's just an elevated pigeon stretch. So we're trying to allow our chest to fall towards that front knee, and we're trying to keep that hip flexor of the back leg also pushing down towards the bench. Now if you want to add a bit of a rotation, you can kind of rotate your chest towards the knee. Think about internally rotating. So we're going to swap legs. So if you're on the floor, you can just swap, put the other leg in front of you, bent to a 90 degree, and the hind leg is just going to be straight out behind you. If you do want to get into this elevated position, then absolutely go for it. We're trying to get the front foot and front knee to stay flat on the elevation. Now I find one glute is significantly tighter, or specifically on this day anyways. We're going to get rid of our elevation now, so we don't need it anymore. So you can move your bench out the way or just move into some more space. We're just going to go onto our mat here. We're going to go for a little forearm bicep stretch. So we're going to come down to the floor, kneeling on the floor. You're going to face your fingers towards you and push the base of your palm away from you. Now you might find it really uncomfortable to be in this position, and if so, you don't need to reach the base of your palm all the way down to the floor. You can just think about trying to get it down and keeping your fingers on the floor. Now you can also rock around in this position a little bit, so if you're finding it way too hard, just sit backwards a little bit and kind of move around. Take your hands off for a second if you need to, and then put them back down. Completely up to you. The further you kind of rock forwards, the easier this one is going to get. You won't get as much stretch, so if you really want to get that stretch, lean right back, your bum into your heels, and keep those palms glued down. Like I said, if it's getting too much, just change the position. We're then going to swap round to the other way, so fingers still facing towards you, but now we're going to try and push the back of your hand towards the floor. The palms facing up to the ceiling now, fingers in towards you, and pushing the back of your hand down to the floor. Again, same thing, if it's too much, just sit back and change position. The further you rock back, the more stretch you will get. Slowly going to relax out of it. I'd recommend just doing a few wrist circles, just moving those wrists around a little bit, because they're going to feel a bit confused after that. So just move your wrists in a couple of circles after. They're going to lie down on our front. One arm is going to go out to the side in a T shape, and the other hand is going to come close to your chest. Same leg as the bent arm is going to come up and over the other leg. So you're going to rotate away from the arm that is straight. This stretch is called the scorpion stretch. And we're going to keep the other arm really close to your chest and use that bent hand to push yourself away from the floor. Now we're trying to keep your front delt, so that's the front part of your shoulder, on the floor the whole time. So try not to let your front delt or the front of your shoulder come off the floor. We're trying to allow the chest to come off the floor, but not the shoulder. And we are really going to keep that other hand pushing against the floor and rotating you away. The foot that is behind should just relax down onto the floor. And now you may feel a stretch in your chest, in your shoulder, in your spine, in your glute. Any of these things might kind of feel a stretch. This is a huge full body kind of stretch. We're going to slowly relax and change onto the other side. So other arm out straight, palm flat down to the floor. Other hand close to your chest, and that same leg is going to lift up and over towards the straight arm, and trying to let that foot of that bent leg drop down to the floor. You can also make this dynamic, so you can kind of rotate back to the starting position and then rotate back over, but we're going to go for a static hold for now. That hand really pushing against the floor. Open that chest up, 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 up. Again, keep those deep breaths going. Keep that rotation and get that big stretch. We're then going to switch around into a cobra stretch here. So legs are going to go behind you, chest is going to go up into the sky, and hands are going to straighten out. We're trying to squeeze our glutes and relax the hips down into the floor, and also relax your core. So relax your abs as much as you can. Now, if you feel like your spine is really just not feeling comfy in this movement, you can bend your arms and go down onto your forearms. So you can bend your arms and do a little bit less if you would like to. But if you feel okay, then you can come up into this full cobra and kind of move around if you want to. We're going to rock back into a child's pose after this. So just pushing your bum back towards your heels, leaving those hands straight out in front of you. Try to relax your bum as close to your heels as you can, keeping those arms as far out in front of you as you can. Just hold them for a second before we move out slowly of that position. We're going to come close to the wall here. We're going to shuffle your back knee up against the wall and send your toes up the wall. Now this one, again, quite advanced stretch. If you're feeling it's too much, just stay kneeling on the floor instead. So it's optional with the back leg to push it up the wall. We're going to rock backwards and forwards in this movement. So if you're on the floor, stay kneeling and just going to rock backwards and forwards. If you're up against the wall, you're going to rock your bum back to your heel and then down towards the floor. We're then going to do some PNF again. So think about squeezing the glute of the back leg, pushing the hip down, and then relax it. Again, squeeze the glute, push the hip down, scoop the hip, squeeze the glute, and slowly relax it. So you should be able to sink a little bit deeper into this stretch now. So the thought process is your hip flexor trying to go down towards the floor. You can either put your hands on top of the leg in front of you and use more of your body weight to sink you down, or if you're struggling, pop your hands on the floor and support some of your body weight with your hands. As mentioned, just stay on normal lunge stretch if you want to. You don't have to put your back foot up against a wall, but if you do want to get that more advanced stretch, then you can make sure that your back knee is up against a wall. We're going to slowly swap legs. So again, knee goes up against the wall, toes up the wall, or just stay in a lunge stretch on the ground and just swap what leg is in front. Again, we're going to be dynamic first. We're going to rock backwards and forwards. And then got some PNF coming up. So let's squeeze the back glute as hard as you can and relax. You should be able to sink a little bit lower now into this position, and pushing that glute forwards here, pushing that hip down into the floor. And optional, put your hands on the floor if you want to, as you possibly can. Support your weight where you need to, no pressure of where you want to put your hands. You
completely up to you.
And that is it, guys. That's the full body stretching routine. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it feels really good in your body and that everything is feeling a little bit looser now. After that one, do let me know how you got on with it, and make sure if you want to see more of this, I've got plenty already on my channel, and make sure to subscribe to stick around and see plenty more of these as well. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one, but for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.